Wang Lin comprehends mountain crumble awakens a heaven-shaking divine sense that engulfs an entire starfield, terrifies Master Flamespark and the Corpse Sect. Then immediately, enters a killing rampage after his mosquito beasts are stolen. Call the wind, summon the rain, magic arsenal, mountain crumble, land collapse, dark moon, clear skies. These were the 6 supreme spells of Celestial Emperor Bai Fan. Wang Lin had already mastered the first 3. Xianxia had once said that the final 3 possessed even greater power. Each of them carried the might to shake the heavens themselves. Mountain Crumble was the first among those final 3 spells. Its intent was to borrow the power of a mountain collapsing. Yet though it sounded simple, the truth was incomparably profound. Mountains possessed souls. If only the mountain itself collapsed while its soul remained intact, then the spell's power would be ordinary at best. Only when both the mountain and its soul crumbled together could the true might of Mountain Crumble emerge. Within a land filled with mountains, one could borrow the power of Mountain Crumble. But that was merely the first step. The true Mountain Crumble was like the one Xianxia had displayed before. Even in a place without mountains, one could form a mountain through divine sense alone. Then pour celestial origin energy into it and create its soul. The true destructive force of Mountain Crumble came from the simultaneous collapse of both divine sense and celestial origin energy, borrowing that power and merging it with the world itself, turning illusion into countless real mountains. Only then would the collapse possess the power to shake the heavens. The true core of Mountain Crumble was not the collapse itself, nor was it forming a mountain with divine sense or giving it a soul through celestial origin energy. The true key was making it real. How could illusion become reality? That was the essence of Mountain Crumble, and it was also the most difficult part. Wang Lin looked at the distant volcano erupting violently. He felt the trembling collapse of the volcano beneath him and slowly opened his eyes. Confusion flickered within them. What is truly real? What is false? No one could answer his question. He silently gazed into the distance. He sensed the fluctuations of the world itself, and his brows gradually furrowed. How does one make a mountain born from divine sense become real? Xianxia had never explained this part to him. The comprehension Xianxia left behind was also vague and incomplete. It was as though Xianxia intended for Wang Lin to comprehend it on his own, rather than inherit it directly. Truth, falsehood, they are like life and death, like karmic cause and karmic effect. Wang Lin closed his eyes once more and continued contemplating. Below him the volcano erupted with increasing violence. One distant volcano after another began to erupt as well. In an instant, endless magma surrounded Wang Lin. Time seemed endless. After an unknown period had passed, Wang Lin opened his eyes again. Yet the confusion within them remained unchanged. He placed his right hand upon the coffin. It transformed into a streak of light and disappeared. Then Wang Lin stood up. Without hesitation, he leapt directly into the volcano. Dense magma surged upward violently, but it could not stop him. Wang Lin moved swiftly through the lava and soon reached the deepest part of the volcano. There he sat down in the lotus position. His hands formed a seal. Then he slowly spread his arms apart. A brilliant light flashed within his eyes before they closed once again. I do not care whether it is true or false. If there is no truth within this world, then falsehood cannot exist either. Truth and falsehood are merely 2 sides of the same existence, just like life and death. If there is no life, then naturally there is no death. If there is no karmic cause, then karmic effect cannot exist either. Moji once said that all domains are formed from the state of one's heart. Everything appears according to one's will. The moment Wang Lin closed his eyes, all the fire origin energy inside his body surged outward into the lava and slowly fused together with it. At that moment, it was as though he himself had become lava. After merging with the lava, Wang Lin's fire origin energy continued spreading outward. It fused with the volcano surrounding the molten sea. In the end, he became one with the volcano itself. But it did not stop there. As his fire origin energy spread farther and farther, the lava, the volcano, the black smoke, and all surrounding fire origin energy gradually merged into a single existence. At that moment, Wang Lin sensed an ancient aura deep within the volcano. That ancient aura was the soul of the volcano. The instant he sensed the volcano's soul, Wang Lin's origin soul emerged and fused with it once more. In that instant, Wang Lin truly felt as though he had become the volcano itself. The ancient volcano soul allowed Wang Lin to witness countless scenes. He saw a burning planet. As the earth trembled violently, a mountain was gradually born. That mountain was filled with boundless fire origin energy. As time passed, the fire origin energy transformed into lava. Then finally, after reaching its limit, the mountain peak collapsed and endless molten lava burst forth. He witnessed the volcano gradually calm after each eruption. He saw fierce beasts capable of surviving in such a place wandering nearby. He saw disciples of the vermilion bird divine sect flying across the skies. Heat waves swept across the land. Seeds from strange plants capable of surviving in the inferno drifted through the air. Crimson grass slowly grew withered away, then grew once more, again and again, cycle after cycle, until eventually the earth trembled once more and the volcano erupted again. Tens of thousands of years passed before Wang Lin's eyes in a single instant. Gradually, Wang Lin forgot his original purpose. He forgot even his identity as a cultivator. It was as though he had truly become the volcano, become the soul of the volcano itself. The eruptions of the volcano became his own fury unleashed upon the world. And at that moment, enlightenment quietly appeared within Wang Lin's heart. I am the volcano. My anger is the eruption. The instant this enlightenment appeared, Wang Lin's divine sense spread outward. Soon every surrounding volcano entered the range of his divine sense. His divine sense spread into each volcano and fused together with them. More countless scenes flooded into Wang Lin's mind. He saw even more eruptions. He felt even greater volcanic fury. His divine sense continued expanding farther and farther until it covered every volcano across the entire planet. At that moment, it was as though Wang Lin possessed thousands of incarnations, and every single one of them was a volcano. This is an elder of the vermilion bird divine sect suddenly opened his eyes in shock. His gaze immediately turned toward the volcano where Wang Lin was located. It is the Divine Emperor. Though the aura was ancient and unfamiliar, as a Nirvana Shatterer cultivator, he could still distinguish it clearly. Yet the old man was deeply shaken. What truly shocked him was that although the aura belonged to the Divine Emperor, it was completely different from the Wang Lin he remembered. Before this, Wang Lin had merely been a Nirvana Scryer cultivator with less than 2,000 years of cultivation. Though the elders had acknowledged him on the surface deep within, many of them still carried unwillingness. But now, this aura was ancient beyond imagination. Before it, even the old man himself felt like a junior. Filled with horror, he immediately flew into the sky. At the same moment, he sensed that the other 3 elders upon the planet had also emerged. The other 3 elders were equally shocked. Clearly, they had sensed the same thing. At this moment, every member of the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect awakened from cultivation. They could all clearly feel that an unimaginably ancient divine sense had just swept across the world. Had it only been that the 4 elders would merely have been shocked. But what happened next caused all 4 of them to inhale cold breaths. That divine sense spread across the entire planet. Every volcano upon the world seemed to awaken and erupt simultaneously. The entire planet trembled violently. Heaven-shaking roars replaced every sound in existence. At that moment, the ancient aura within the divine sense grew vastly stronger. It was as though the ancient auras of countless volcanoes had merged together, forming a terrifying power accumulated through endless time. The sky became covered in black smoke. Bright red lava flowed across the earth. The expressions of the 4 elders changed drastically. All disciples of the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect leave this cultivation planet immediately. One elder roared like thunder. Soon countless disciples flew into the sky in panic. The four elders also rushed outward, carrying everyone away from the planet. Fear spread through the crowd, and most of them had no idea what was happening. The four elders' expressions were gloomy to the extreme. Deep within their hearts, dissatisfaction toward the new divine emperor arose. Yet just as that dissatisfaction appeared, that divine sense expanded once more. It swept past the members of the Vermilion Bird divine sect and spread across the entire burning starfield. As the divine sense spread, another cultivation planet became enveloped by it and fused together with it. The ancient aura grew even stronger. Disciples upon that cultivation planet also fled in panic. The divine sense continued spreading. One cultivation planet after another fused into it. And as it grew stronger and stronger, an unimaginably terrifying divine sense emerged within the burning starfield. All members of the Vermilion Bird divine sect fled from their cultivation planets. Big Head and the others familiar to Wang Lin did the same. At that moment, ripples suddenly appeared outside the burning starfield where the Vermilion Bird divine sect was located. A figure stepped out from the ripples. It was an old man with white hair wearing a red robe. If Wang Lin were present, he would instantly recognize him. Master Flamespark. The moment Master Flamespark appeared, another ripple echoed through the void, and a second figure stepped out. The instant this person appeared, a chilling aura spread through the starfield. It was a middle-aged man, dressed in a blue robe. His appearance was extraordinarily handsome, yet his face was deathly pale as though he were already a corpse. The cultivation fluctuations emanating from him caused even Master Flamespark's pupils to contract. All Heaven's Master Flamespark, the middle-aged man said coldly. Master Flamespark calmly looked at him and slowly spoke. One of the corpse sect's 9 kings. I simply do not know which one. At that moment, every cultivation planet within the Vermilion Bird divine sect was completely enveloped by that divine sense. An ancient aura spread across the entire starfield, causing all the elders to tremble in shock. Their cultivation levels were already extraordinary, yet none of them could imagine what kind of spell this newly appointed divine emperor was cultivating to produce such terrifying power. Even with their experience and insight, it was only natural that they could not comprehend the divine abilities left behind by Celestial Emperor Bai Fan. Originally, Wang Lin's divine sense could never have covered such a vast distance, but now he had forgotten everything. He had become the soul of the volcanoes themselves. At the same time, he fused with the souls of every cultivation planet and borrowed their strength to spread his divine sense outward. Only then was this unbelievable scene possible, and at the root of everything was still Celestial Emperor Bai Fan's Mountain Crumbles spell. At this moment, Wang Lin's divine sense had gathered together the souls of every cultivation planet within the starfield. The ancient aura contained within that divine sense made all who sensed it feel as though they themselves were decaying with age. All members of the Vermilion Bird divine sect, including the elders, were now within Wang Lin's divine sense. Every single one of them could clearly feel that ancient aura, and the shock in the hearts of the elders reached an unimaginable level. The dissatisfaction that once existed in the hearts of the first 4 elders had already vanished completely. In its place remained only overwhelming shock. If there is no karmic cause and no karmic effect, then karma itself does not exist. Without life, there is no death. Without life and death, all things would exist eternally. If there is truth, then there is no falsehood. Truth and falsehood are separated by only a single thought. An ancient voice echoed from within the divine sense and spread into the ears of everyone present. So that is how it is. Merely a single thought. No wonder senior brother Qing Shui left behind no explanation. Once understood, it is understood. As that thought echoed through his mind, Wang Lin seemed to awaken. The instant he awakened, the burning starfield suddenly stirred violently. The souls of the planets emerged, and all the volcanoes throughout the starfield erupted simultaneously. The eruption of countless volcanoes caused thunderous rumbling to shake the entire starfield. It was at this exact moment that Master Flamespark and the third king of the corpse sect stepped into the burning Starfield. The moment they entered, the third king's eyes narrowed sharply, filled with disbelief. With his cultivation, he immediately sensed that the entire Starfield was covered by an unimaginably vast divine sense. The power of that divine sense was so heaven-shaking that even he could not help but gasp. To him, it no longer felt as though he was facing a cultivator. Instead, it felt as though he was facing cultivation planets that had existed since ancient times. That ancient aura made even him feel insignificant, like a junior before a senior. Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor. This was the very first thought that appeared in the middle-aged man's mind. Yet immediately afterward, he felt something was wrong. According to Li Yingji's report, the new Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor should have been someone who had cultivated for only a short period of time. Could it be the previous Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor? The middle-aged man's pupils contracted as caution filled his heart. Master Flamespark's expression also changed drastically the moment he entered the Starfield. He immediately sensed that enormous divine sense, and his mind trembled violently. This is unimaginable shock appeared in Master Flamespark's eyes. In his opinion, the power of this divine sense could no longer be described with words. It was not something a cultivator should possess. The moment they sensed the divine sense, Wang Lin naturally noticed both Master Flamespark and the middle-aged man as well. His divine sense suddenly moved toward them, causing thunderous rumbling to echo across the burning Starfield. Master Flamespark! A voice echoed from within the divine sense and spread through the Starfield. Master Flamespark inhaled sharply. The divine sense felt familiar to him. In fact, he already had a guess regarding its owner, but he simply could not believe it. His expression immediately became serious. "May I ask who your excellency is?" "Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor." As Wang Lin's divine sense spread, thunder roared endlessly across the Starfield. "You're Wang Lin." Master Flamespark's eyes widened instantly. The shock within them surged like monstrous waves. The third king of the corpse sect was no different. This must be someone from the corpse sect. Wang Lin's divine sense slowly transmitted its voice. At the same time, the sea of flames throughout the Starfield churned violently and slowly surrounded both the middle-aged man and Master Flamespark. This old man is the third king of the corpse sect. Although the middle-aged man appeared calm and no emotion could be seen on his face, the fear he felt toward the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect had already deepened immensely. Originally, he had come here intending to observe the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect personally. But now there was no longer any need. The middle-aged man clasped his hands respectfully. "A few days ago, the junior of my corpse sect, Li Yingji, returned with a jade. This old man came here only to ask for the location recorded within that jade. If the Divine Emperor is willing to tell us, my corpse sect will forever remember this favor." Master Flamespark suppressed the shock in his heart and spoke as well. "Wang, Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor. Li Yunzi also brought a jade back to the Thunder Celestial Temple. I wish to ask the same question. Where is the place recorded within the jade?" With Master Flamespark's cultivation, he could vaguely perceive some clues regarding why Wang Lin's divine sense had become so terrifyingly powerful. Yet the spell that allowed one's divine sense to fuse so perfectly with every planet in the Starfield filled him with fear. In Master Flamespark's heart, the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect became even more mysterious. "I can tell both of you the location recorded within the jade. However, that place is filled with danger. Whether you choose to go or not is your own decision." As Wang Lin's divine sense echoed outward, countless specks of light suddenly appeared before Master Flamespark and the middle-aged man, forming a massive star map. Within the map, planet Suzaku was revealed clearly. After flickering for several breaths, the star map slowly faded away. Master Flamespark's eyes lit up. "Planet Suzaku?" The middle-aged man smiled faintly and calmly said, "Divine Emperor, since you are willing to reveal such important information so openly, you must have your own plans. Everyone has their own needs. I am merely borrowing a knife to kill the one guarding that corpse." Wang Lin did not conceal anything. There was no reason to hide his intentions from the corpse sect or all heaven. Good, the middle-aged man laughed loudly. The Divine Emperor truly speaks candidly. My corpse sect agrees to this matter. Clearly, he had not expected Wang Lin's answer to be so direct. After speaking, the middle-aged man glanced toward the source of Wang Lin's divine sense, clasped his hands once more, and departed. Master Flamespark remained silent for a moment. After the middle-aged man left, he looked toward Wang Lin with an extremely complicated expression and let out a sigh. I underestimated you. I truly never expected this. Wang Lin put aside the identities of the Thunder Celestial Temple Master and the Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor. Tell me honestly, how have I treated you? Wang Lin pondered briefly before replying. Not bad. Master Flamespark narrowed his eyes slightly. You truly are honest. Wang Lin, I only wish to know one thing. Was the information inside the jade truly real, or are you uncertain yourself? Senior Master Flamespark, I will not deceive you. The information inside the jade is true. Master Flamespark nodded silently. He said nothing more. He clasped his hands, then turned and departed from the burning Starfield. After both men had left, the divine sense that covered the entire Starfield suddenly collapsed into countless fragments before dissipating into the heavens. The portions belonging to the planetary souls all returned to their respective planets. As the divine sense shattered apart, the origin energy throughout the Starfield was affected, greatly shocking every member of the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect. The volcanoes on Wang Lin's planet had already stopped erupting. Inside the largest volcano, Wang Lin slowly opened his eyes. A brilliant light shone from within them, piercing directly through the lava surrounding him. My domain began with the cycle of life and death, then evolved into karma. Now, by borrowing comprehension from mountain crumbles, I have glimpsed truth and falsehood. With a single thought, my karma domain reached completion. I broke through the Nirvana Scryer stage and entered the Nirvana Cleanser stage. My domain also evolved into truth and falsehood through comprehending mountain crumbles. This truth and falsehood differs from illusion. This is a true Grandao. Wang Lin slowly stood up. The instant he took a step, ripples spread throughout the lava beneath him. In the next moment, he appeared outside the volcano. He looked toward the world before him and gradually revealed a smile. Nirvana Cleanser. Wang Lin took a deep breath. He could clearly sense the transformation within his body. Previously, the fire origin energy within him had already reached its limit. But now, with merely a thought, all surrounding fire origin energy surged madly into his body. As the origin energy poured into him, Wang Lin raised his right hand. A crack suddenly appeared before him. The crack was unstable when it first appeared, as though it might collapse at any moment. However, endless origin energy flowed from Wang Lin's hand directly into the crack. The crack immediately began expanding. Popping sounds echoed continuously from within it. The space inside the crack grew larger and larger. As more origin energy entered, it became increasingly stable. Finally, after reaching its limit, the crack stabilized completely and no longer showed signs of collapsing. There is no longer any need for a bag of holding. Wang Lin smiled faintly. He slapped his bag of holding, causing everything within it to fly into the crack one after another. Soon the bag of holding became completely empty. Wang Lin rubbed it lightly between his fingers, turning it into dust. Then he pointed toward the crack and left behind an imprint of his divine sense. After waving his hand, the crack closed and vanished. At that very moment, Wang Lin's expression suddenly changed. A cold light appeared within his eyes. His entire body emitted terrifying chill. He took one step into the sky and immediately saw a mosquito beast struggling desperately toward him through the heavens. The mosquito beast's entire body had turned purple. It was covered in blood and appeared extremely weak. Clearly, it had suffered severe injuries. If not for the single obsession of returning to its master's side, it would have died long ago. Most horrifying of all was the hideous wound on its back. Green gas continuously emerged from the wound, and even its long mouth part had been broken apart. When the mosquito beast saw Wang Lin, it immediately let out a mournful cry and flew toward him. Wang Lin pressed his right hand onto the mosquito beast's back, instantly dispersing the green gas. Then his left hand tore through the void, opening a crack in space. He immediately retrieved a large amount of medicinal pills and fed them to the mosquito beast. At the same time, his divine sense entered the mosquito beast's mind. As he searched through its memories, Wang Lin's expression darkened completely. A monstrous killing intent exploded from his body. They are courting death. In the central region of the Alliance, a shattered starfield drifted beneath the cold void. Countless fragments of rubble floated in silence. Within that wasteland, 3 youths in yellow robes moved forward cautiously. All 3 were in miserable condition. One of them had a massive wound on his right leg. Flesh had been torn open, exposing white bone beneath. Though it had been wrapped in bandages, blood still soaked through the cloth. His face was pale as paper. The other 2 were also heavily injured, especially the youth in the middle. He carried an incense burner in his hands, yet to the right side of his chest was a bloody hole. Fresh blood occasionally bubbled out from the wound. Even while enduring the pain, he still needed another person to support him. Behind them followed more than a dozen giant mosquito beasts. The mosquito beasts had only suffered light injuries. Their movements were unaffected. Their scarlet eyes stared fixedly at the 3 youths ahead. Yet because of the strange incense, they could only follow unwillingly. Damn it! The youth with the injured leg cursed bitterly. We actually let that young mosquito beast king escape. If we had brought it back to the Cloud Sea, we could have traded it to the Dark Star sect for an incredibly precious Heaven's Blight liquid. Shut up! The youth with the hole in his chest barked coldly. That mosquito beast king definitely belongs to someone. Only a powerful cultivator from the Alliance could tame giant mosquito beasts that run rampant through the Cloud Sea star system. His expression darkened further. The 3 of us must meet the Elder immediately. Otherwise, once that cultivator finds us, the consequences will be unimaginable. Another youth in yellow frowned and said slowly, "Everything had gone smoothly at first. I never expected the Mosquito Beast King to suddenly struggle after we left the eastern region. That caused all the mosquito beasts to rebel." His voice carried lingering fear. If we hadn't used up 2 mosquito soul incenses, I'm afraid the 3 of us would have been devoured alive by them before we could lure them away. He clenched his fists unwillingly. Unfortunately, the Mosquito Beast King still escaped. Then his eyes lit up greedily as he looked at the mosquito beasts behind them. But even these 19 giant mosquito beasts are enough for the 3 of us to obtain enormous rewards. Once we return to the Heaven Gate sect, our status will immediately rise. The 3 of them continued flying deeper into the rubble-filled Starfield. Soon, a region covered by a green light screen appeared ahead. The 3 youths immediately took out jade slips. They bit their tongues and sprayed blood onto the jades. In an instant, the jade slips emitted brilliant light and shot toward the green screen. Ripples spread across the surface of the screen. Then a vortex slowly formed. Without hesitation, the 3 youths charged into the vortex. The mosquito beasts behind them were also dragged inside. When they emerged again, they were already within the protection of the green light screen. Only then did the 3 finally relax slightly. The youth holding the incense frowned and muttered, "It's truly strange. Giant mosquito beasts from the Cloud Sea star system actually appeared here. Fortunately, there weren't many of them." As he spoke, fear surfaced in his eyes. If it had been a swarm numbering in the tens of thousands, like the ones we saw in the Wind Celestial realm. His body trembled slightly. Another youth immediately interrupted him. "Forget it. Thinking about it is useless. We've already completed the investigation assigned by the sect. We should leave as quickly as possible." He paused briefly before lowering his voice. "I have a bad feeling." The 3 exchanged glances and continued forward. Not long afterward, a massive formation constructed from endless rubble appeared before them. Bursts of green light spread from the gigantic formation. Nearly 100 cultivators were moving rubble continuously and adding it into the formation. Above the formation stood two old men dressed in purple robes. Both had white hair, but their eyes emitted sharp and powerful light. As they spoke in low voices, they occasionally pointed toward the formation below. The arrival of the three youths drew some attention, yet no one cared too much at first. But the moment their gazes landed on the mosquito beasts behind them, expressions instantly changed. Some cultivators with weaker courage cried out in shock. Giant mosquito beasts. An uproar erupted immediately. Nearly 100 cultivators stopped what they were doing and stared at the mosquito beasts in disbelief. The three youths in yellow immediately felt proud. After all, when they first encountered these mosquito beasts, their own reactions had been almost identical. At that moment, two streaks of purple light descended. The two elders had arrived. One elder swept his gaze across the mosquito beasts before shouting coldly at the surrounding cultivators. "What are all of you staring at? Continue building the formation immediately." Under the elder's roar, the cultivators quickly scattered and resumed their work. Yet many still secretly glanced toward the mosquito beasts, greed flickering in their eyes. After the elder finished speaking, he looked carefully at the mosquito beasts. A strange light appeared within his eyes. Then he turned toward the three youths. "Su Xin," he said slowly, "what exactly happened with these mosquito beasts?" The injured youth immediately bowed respectfully and recounted everything in detail. At the end, he hesitated briefly before explaining how the mosquito beast king had escaped during the journey back. After hearing the entire story, the elder's expression darkened. He exchanged a glance with the other elder. Within each other's eyes, they saw both worry and greed. "If these mosquito beasts truly have no owner, then it doesn't matter," one elder said quietly. "But the chances of that are nearly zero." His voice grew heavy. "Can our Heaven Gate sect afford to provoke someone capable of raising giant mosquito beasts?" The other elder narrowed his eyes. "In the Cloud Sea star system, giant mosquito beasts are incredibly valuable. They usually move in swarms of hundreds of thousands. Capturing them is extraordinarily difficult. Even cultivators above the 6th step would have to pay a tremendous price to catch them." His gaze landed upon the mosquito beasts again. "These dozen or so mosquito beasts alone are already a massive fortune for our Heaven Gate sect." Silence fell briefly between the two elders. Then greed and decisiveness appeared simultaneously within their eyes. "With the protection of this green light screen, Alliance cultivators won't be able to enter easily. Even a peak Nirvana Shatterer cultivator would need several days to break this formation gifted to us by an 8th rank sect." A cold smile appeared on one elder's face. "As long as we buy enough time to return to the Cloud Sea star system, everything will be fine. And if that person dares chase us into the Cloud Sea star system," he let out a cold snort, "we'll make sure they never return." The two elders immediately reached an agreement. Accelerate the construction of the formation. Excitement filled the hearts of the three youths. Since the elders had accepted the matter, their safety was guaranteed. Once they returned to the sect, they would definitely receive enormous rewards. The youth with the injured leg laughed arrogantly. "Haha, now I actually want to see the owner of these mosquito beasts appear." Mockery filled his face. "I'd like to see how he tries to break the light screen, and how helplessly he watches us leave with his mosquito beasts." At that very moment, far away in the void, the true owner of the mosquito beasts, Wang Lin, slowly raised his right hand. His expression was incomparably cold. Anyone familiar with Wang Lin would immediately understand. He was truly enraged. Wang Lin had always followed his own principles. If others did not offend him, then he would not offend them. If not for the fact that Tuo Sen would hunt him down, no matter what, Wang Lin would never have schemed against him. Yet now his mosquito beasts had never provoked anyone, and still they had been lured away. Not only that they had been severely injured, this had touched Wang Lin's absolute bottom line. Wang Lin slowly clenched his right hand. His gaze lifted toward the endless sky. Ever since reaching the Nirvana cleanser stage, he had faintly sensed the approach of divine retribution. However, he was currently within the Vermilion Bird divine sect. If divine retribution descended, their unimaginable destruction could follow. Even if others were willing to help him, Wang Lin did not need help. He wanted to personally test the true strength of his fire and thunder beneath divine retribution. In the past, Wang Lin had been unable to control when divine retribution descended, but after comprehending the 9 mysterious transformations, everything changed. The moment he stepped into the Nirvana cleanser stage, he used the 9 mysterious transformations to forcibly seal his cultivation at the edge of Nirvana Scrya. Thus, he delayed the arrival of divine retribution. Wang Lin knew very clearly, with a single thought, he could completely step into the Nirvana cleanser stage. And the moment he did, divine retribution would descend immediately. Originally, Wang Lin had planned to leave the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect and find a remote place in the eastern region to undergo the tribulation. But after the appearance of his mosquito beast, Wang Lin instantly changed his mind. With a wave of his sleeve, he sent the heavily injured mosquito beast into the storage crack. Then Wang Lin stepped forward, following the route within the mosquito beast's memories. The moment his foot landed, ripples spread before him, and Wang Lin vanished without a trace. Spatial bending. Ripples spread suddenly across the eastern edge of the Alliance star system. Like a stone falling into still water waves distorted the void itself. Wang Lin stepped out from the center of the ripples. Dense killing intent surrounded him. The surrounding starfield was completely silent. Wang Lin glanced around coldly. This was the place where the mosquito beasts had battled the 3 cultivators in yellow. Killing intent flashed within his eyes. He took another step forward. In an instant, he transformed into a streak of light and disappeared into the distance. Thunderous booms echoed endlessly through the stars. Wang Lin's speed was simply too terrifying. Sonic explosions continuously erupted behind him. He wore a snow-white robe. His right hand reached into the void. Immediately, the heavily injured mosquito beast flew out once more. All of Wang Lin's medicinal pills were celestial pills of exceptional quality. After consuming them, the mosquito beast's condition improved slightly. Its bleeding had stopped. The moment it appeared, its eyes revealed the same icy killing intent as Wang Lin. It stared forward and let out a sharp, furious cry. It was clearly filled with unwillingness. If not for the strange incense, how could a mosquito beast king, commanding more than a dozen mosquito beasts, have been seriously injured by 3 insignificant cultivators? How could its subordinates have been captured? Ever since following Wang Lin, it had never suffered such humiliation. But now, with its master beside it once more, the mosquito beast instantly regained its ferocity. It immediately locked onto a direction and charged forward at full speed. Wang Lin's expression became increasingly gloomy as he followed behind it. The mosquito beast was tracking its captured companions. As Wang Lin advanced, the fury within his heart grew more and more monstrous. Around him, illusory miniature volcanoes began to appear one after another.